I was 8 when I had my first seizure. Not grand mal. I was at the breakfast table and just jumped out of my seat.
And I don't know what triggered it, but she suddenly jumped, like it seemed like 3 feet in the air, and landed back in the chair. And I thought something startled her, but the house was very quiet. The dog didn't bark, the phone didn't ring. So I walked over and I said, "Jorie, are you okay?" And she didn't really answer me right away. And then she started looking at me, and she looked a little bewildered. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she looked at me and she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Has this happened to you before?" And she burst into tears and climbed in my lap, and my heart started to pound because I knew that it had happened before. Well, before Jorie entered St. Luke's Epilepsy Center, she was seizing more than once a week, but the seizures were violent, and then what would happen, she'd be wiped out. Like after a migraine, you might be wiped out for several hours or maybe even a day. She'd be wiped out for 2 days, maybe even 3 days.
I was so drugged up on 2 different medicines trying to prevent my seizures that I could not remember anything. You asked me something that happened freshman year, I couldn't tell you.
What used to happen, especially her freshman year when they were so frequent, is I would wake up in the morning and my heart would just start racing, waiting to see if this was going to be another day where we were going to have another seizure.
You have a seizure, and then next thing you know, paramedic is waking you up. He's not trying to snap you out of your seizure because there's nothing you can do about that. He's actually like waking you up from your sleep because you just go from seizing into a deep sleep because you are so exhausted, because it's like running a marathon. And you have a like migraine. Your head is like throbbing. It feels like someone's taking a brick and just like slamming it against the inside of your head. I wouldn't be who I am today, like, if it weren't for everything that my doctor's done, the practice has done, because I'm a normal teenager now. He doesn't just care about, like, trying to not make you have seizures anymore. He actually cares about, like, your well-being. So, like, when I was on a bunch of drugs and everything, that wasn't good enough for him because he could see clearly that I was so drugged up, I didn't know what was going on around me.
The turnaround for her has been dramatic, doesn't begin to describe it. We feel unbelievably lucky that her age was just right for her to start seeing the practice with the St. Luke's Epilepsy Center. And we cannot say enough about John Kroom and his staff. They are phenomenal.
And here I am 2 years later, no seizures, and it's because of them in the Epilepsy Center.
It is wonderful to see that she is blossoming and thriving again, and going from 2 years ago where she has absolutely no memory of her freshman year of high school. How do you look back on your 4 years of high school and have no memory? And she's going for everything. She made violin a priority. She's in a youth symphony. She's having opportunities now that she didn't have prior to going through the Epilepsy Center.
With my new medicine now, I can fully function. I can play the violin, and I can drive. I never thought I would be able to drive.